Hey everybody, hope your day is going well. You're back with another reaction. We're listening to the Decemberists, the Mariner's Revenge song. Interesting title. This was a Patreon request by Suzanne. Thank you so much for this request and donation. And I was told this is a great storytelling song. I love great storytelling in all formats. So looking forward to it. Let's go.
We are two mariners, a ship's sole survivors in this belly of a whale. Its ribs are ceiling beams, its guts are carpeting. I guess we have some time to kill. You may not remember me, I was a child of 3 and you a lad of 18. But I remember you, and I will relate to you how our history's in a wave. At the time you were a rake and a roustabout, spending all your money on the horse and hounds. Oh, you had a charming air, so cheap and debonair, my widowed mother found so sweet. And so she took you in, her sheets still warm at him, now filled with filth and foul disease. As time wore on, you proved a dead-ridden drunken man, leaving my mother a poor consumptive wretch. Oh, and then you disappeared, your gambling arrears, the only thing you left behind. And then the magistrates reclaimed our small estate, and my poor mother lost her mind. Then one day in spring, my dear sweet mother died. But before she did, I took her hand as she dying cried. Oh,
Find him, tie him to a pole and break his fingers to splinters. Drag him to a hole until he wakes up naked, crawling at the ceiling of his
it took me 15 years to swallow all my tears among the urchins in the street, until a priory took pity and hired me to keep their vestry nice and neat. But never once in the employ of these holy men did I ever once turn my mind from the thought of revenge. Oh. One night I overheard the prior exchanging words with a penitent whaler from the sea. The captain of his ship, who matched you toe-to-tip, was known for one cruelty. Following day, I shipped to sea with the privateer, and in the whistle of the wind, I could almost hear.
Find him, tie him to a pole and break his fingers to splinters. Drag him to a hole until he wakes up naked, crawling at the ceiling of his grave.
Yikes.
There is one thing I must say to you. As you sail avenge this wicked deed.
And then that fateful night, we had you in our sight after 20 months at sea. Your starboard flank abeam, I was getting my muskets clean when came this rumbling from beneath. The ocean shook, the sky went black, and the captain quailed as before us grew the angry jaws of a giant whale.
Oh.
Don't know how I survived. The crew all was chewed alive. I must have slipped between his teeth.
Dang.
But oh, what providence, what divine intelligence, that you should survive as well as me. It gives my eye great joy to see your eyes fill with fear. So lean in close and I will whisper the last words you'll hear. Oh, oh.
Wow, that was cool, huh? Great storytelling, but the music is really, really great too. That was entertaining. That was really entertaining, and watching them do it as well. I really thought it was cool that the two women took on the voice of the mother in the story, and even like her ghost, right? Because the words kept haunting the main character, the narrator of the story, uh, way after she passed away, and this revenge was still on his mind. Fantastic with the upright bass, the violin, the acoustic guitar. I don't know what the other instrument was. It a balalaika? I'm not sure. Was it a mandolin? Maybe balalaika. I'm not sure. Really great, bone chilling story. And the vocalist, is his name Colin? I think he writes the songs as well, right? I have reacted to them before. He had this tremble in his delivery here that makes the story even more chilling. It's like this impatient vibe of, I want to get this guy, and it's been so long, and I now, am here inside the belly of the whale. We ended up here, and then that's how the story starts, and then he starts to explain how their stories interweaves. Great narrative device, because you start to wonder, how did they get there? How is it possible that this guy who did him wrong and did his mother wrong so many years ago end up, how did they end up here in the belly of the beast, of the whale, which is kind of reminiscent of Jonah and the whale, if you're familiar with the biblical story, or Pinocchio. They get into a whale too, right? In the Disney version. Yeah, and then he starts to kind of explain it of, yeah, when you were 18 you did this and that, and my mother really you did her one over. She went insane, lost her mind, and at the end of her life she kind of she didn't really share words of wisdom. She said, hey, avenge me, son, avenge me. And then this way that they sang it was so, it was haunting, really. And those words kept haunting him, and he was even in a holy place, right? He was working with these holy men, but he never turned his mind off the revenge. So psychologically, he was worshiping revenge. There's a lesson to be learned here, I think, for parents and children. Great stuff, man. We never hear the story of the side of the other guy, right? The captain, right? He became a captain then later. That would be an interesting sequel, and see if there's any misunderstanding there. We only get one side. But yeah, drag him to a hole until he wakes up naked, clawing at the ceiling of his grave. I mean, okay, Ma, that's very specific. And then at the end, which was really cool, is the last sentence is, hey, come in closer and I'll whisper the last words you hear, but they never are spoken. So perhaps we are the guy on the receiving end who perhaps gets killed, and we never hear those words. Like, they whack the audience, so to speak, the listener. So that's really cool, really nice. The drummer there was doing really cool stuff behind everybody, because he had that stick in his one hand with the pom-pom on there. What's the name of that stick again? I always forget. And then the tambourine in the other hand, and kind of doing the percussion with both on that drum. And then he had the two sticks, and he also had the tambourine in his mouth. And then he dropped it out of his mouth as soon as the whale was kind of, doing crazy stuff, and there was always like an earthquake going on. Then he threw stuff down from the mantle, and that made sound, and it was really entertaining. And yeah, that was a cool performance. And yeah, the writing is really nice. You could see it happening. It was like a mini movie. Good stuff. Thank you for introducing me to it and for hanging out. If you have any other suggestions, let me know. Hope to see you there. Goodbye.